SANDHAN, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
A very good afternoon to all of you who are listening in the audience. Today I have to speak on consumer behavior, factors in buying process. This particular topic is very much important for business management students because they have to look into how to study the behavior of the consumers, and depending upon that they will be in a position to find out how to make marketing strategies as part of overall management fundamentals. Now the question comes, what actually is consumer behavior? It is the study of how individuals, groups and organizations select, buy, use and dispose of goods, services, ideas or experiences to satisfy their needs and wants. It is essential for marketers to fully understand both the theory and reality of consumer behavior. Basically, it talks about how consumers find out what is there in the market, either as groups or as individuals or as organizations. After that, they try to find out what is best for them, they select it, and once they select it, they buy and use it. After using a product or a service, they try to dispose it in the form of liking or disliking it. Anything can be bought and anything can be used. It can be a service, it can be an idea, it can be an experience. All this is done to satisfy the needs and wants of consumers. Therefore, it is very much essential for any company which is into business of promoting and distributing products and services to fully understand this whole process and reality of consumer behavior. Now, when we study consumer behavior, we have to find out what are the factors that influence this behavior. No consumer ever behaves unless and until he or she is affected by some or the other factors. So, to study consumer behavior, it is very important for any company, any marketer to find out what is affecting the behavior of the consumer. There are various factors which affect the behavior of the consumer. All of us as a consumer are a part of some culture, some society. So the starting factor which governs consumer behavior, which every company should try to find out, and that is the cultural factor. Cultural factor is the fundamental determinant of a person's wants and behavior. Right from the childhood, as a consumer, every one of us acquires certain sets of values, perceptions, preferences and behaviors, because we pass and travel a journey along with our family and other key institutions. And since we are born, this keep on happening with us, and over a period of time it makes us decide not to go or to go for certain products or services. Within each culture there are a lot of smaller subcultures. Now, as a consumer, we have to see what can be done in order to make it workable. A culture alone is not the parameter of anything that is being done by the companies, of anything that is being done in isolation. Culture has got a significant role to play when it becomes operative. Culture consists of subcultures. Now, culture is very general, subcultures are very, very specific. What consists in subcultures? The countries to which we belong, the religions which we follow, the racial groups which we are a part of, and the geography where we live. These become reasons for companies to offer specialized marketing programs. Each and every place where we live, whichever race we belong to, whichever religion we follow, we are having an indicator which a company has to tap, which a company has to track, and if it tracks it properly, it can come up with significant ideas which can help it do a better and a strong marketing. Then there is something called stratification. Over a period of time, when we live in a society, when we live in a country, when we live in this world, we become a part of stratification. Basically, stratification generates the caste system of which we are a part of, and where the different members of the castes are reared into certain roles and they cannot change. As we all must be aware that over a period of time, some of us become famous as engineers, some of us become famous as professors, some are very much comfortable in doing one type of a job, another type of a job. So over a period of time, we acquire certain professions and we follow those professions. Now with these professions come the preferences, likes and dislikes for certain products and services, and we use it, we don't use them, we like them, we don't like them, but we have a reason for everything that we do. And it is very difficult to change our caste membership. Over a period of time, the castes which we follow become social classes. Now, what are social classes? They are relatively homogeneous, long serving division in a society. These can be on the basis of behavior, positions, values, movements towards growth, etc. Now, all of us follow certain movements, all of us follow certain behaviors, all of us follow certain positions, and all of us grow in life. With everything that is taking place in this pattern, there is something which makes us a consumer, and we become so rigid in certain things which we buy, and we also become so rigid in certain things that we don't buy, that over a period of time such numbers increase and it becomes a formidable set of people who will buy or not buy certain brands or services. Companies cannot change it, companies cannot ignore it. Companies have to be a part of it, and even if we change within our social class, what changes are taking place, whether we are changing rigidly or whether we are changing in a minor manner, companies have to keep a track of it. They will be doing a better marketing if they give importance to this whole phenomenon. Now, apart from cultural factors, there are certain social factors which we call in Hindi as samajik sthitiyan. What are the social factors? All of us belong to groups, and many times we belong to certain groups which we are a part of. These groups can be any. Reference groups, family, social roles and status play a role in influencing the behavior of consumers. We may belong to a reference group, we may belong to a situation where we play a particular role. We are a part of a family ever since we are in this world, and each and every of these groups play a significant role in making us a consumer. How can a company ignore these groups and their activities? One of the most important group, or in general what we say, a person's reference group consists of all of the groups that have a face-to-face or indirect influence on his/her attitudes or behavior. We see that whatever we do, whatever attitudes we have, whatever behaviors we show, all this is affected by some or the other reference groups which we are a part of. From morning till night, till we go to sleep, then again we get up in the morning, we pass the whole day, and day after day, week after week, month after month, we are coming in contact with multiple groups. We are coming in contact with various groups from time to time. Now, these groups cannot in any way ignore what we are doing, what we are following. They have to take it as a part of their thinking, and we cannot avoid them. And one of the most important group that affects our behavior as a consumer, which the company cannot ignore, is the family. Family consists of two parts. The family from which we came, our parents, our brothers and sisters, and then the second part of the family that is consists of family which we create. our spouses, our children. We are a part of one part of this family in the beginning, and when the second family come into the picture, we are a part of both the families. And all said and done, till we live in this world, this influence never goes away, directly or indirectly. Companies have to find out from time to time how consumers are changing with respect to the influences of their family. Whether it is minor or major, family influences do have a role in our life. Certain brands, certain products and services are not bought by us, and certain products or services are always bought by us because in our family there is a prejudice, there is a bias in favor as well as against one or the other brand or services. No matter whatever the company does, no matter whatever the company tries to do to make that brand more popular, to make their brand more strong, to make their brand more interesting, if we don't like it and if the family values don't allow us to buy it, we will not buy it, and that's a big barrier for any company. Companies have tried to fight this barrier from time to time, but it's not always possible for every company to come up and overcome this barrier. Then it's an indication to change the product, to modify it, because beyond a point you cannot change the significance of the family. It goes with every other brand and service. In social factors, there is something called as roles and status. When we work, when we do a business, when as a consumer we are in some or the other profile, we do a lot of activities, and those activities generate a lot of roles in our life. A role consists of the activities a person is expected to perform. Each role carries a status. Now the role can be of a teacher, the role can be of a doctor, the role can be of a engineer, the role can be of a shopkeeper, the role can be of a salesperson, role can be anyone. There can be millions of roles which all the people in this world possess at different points of time in their careers across the world. All these roles which people perform from time to time can be a big market for products, services or ideas of companies of different types. Each role carries a status, and people do keep in mind the status in society while choosing and using products and services. It may be debatable, but due to our education, due to our background as a consumer, we may not like to do certain things because we feel that that is not a part of our role, that is not a part of our dignity, that is not a part of our level in society. It may be wrong to say that, but that is something which keeps on happening. At times, because of our knowledge, because of our education, because of our level of working, we often criticize the role of others, and we always say, we cannot do this thing, we cannot do that. And we are very particular about our roles because it has given this status to us. Companies have to find out this awareness of roles and status, which we all have, generates certain likings and dislikings for products and services, and all the companies which provide these roles and status symbols to us are having us as a market for all these brands and services which they make. It can be a car. For some, car can be a status symbol. For some, a furniture can be a status symbol. For some, a particular brand of cigarette can be a status symbol. For some, a particular brand of footwear can be a status symbol. The fact is, all the companies which make these cigarette, footwear, car, furniture have to relate their marketing to the status indicator which these items possess, and it will be better for them to do a more improved marketing. Marketers need to keep a track of this on a regular basis. Now, apart from cultural factors and social factors, there are certain personal characteristics. All of us as an individual have certain characteristics in our person which influences our decisions to buy and not to buy certain brands or services. These characteristics are age and stage in the life cycle, occupation and economic circumstances, personality and self-concept, lifestyle and values. We will go into the slight detail of all of them slowly and gradually. Personal factors, the factor of age and family life cycle. It actually talks about the fact that with age we have different types of consumption, different periods of consumption. Certain products actually relate to certain age, and those products are not a part of a consumption of a person in other ages. Certain factors relate to a particular stage in a family life cycle, and these products have got meaning and significance to the consumer only in that point of time. For example, for a child or for a person, for a young boy or girl, till he or she reaches the age of 5 or 6, a chocolate or a confectionery item or maybe a video game or something, maybe a very attractive thing. It may not be the case with him or her after he or she crosses a particular age. Similarly, for a particular family, keeping in mind the stage which they have in their life, a particular time is right to buy a house, a particular time is right to buy a car, a particular time is right to buy something, jewelry, etc. Now all the companies which make these type of products and services targeting consumers and families individually as well as a group have to find out at what stage and at what stage of the family life cycle do these products and services which they have a significant market, and is the market changing, and if it is changing, which new age groups are adding into the profile of the product and which age groups are going out. Of late it has been found that certain products have become acceptable in all ages, at all family stages, at every stage of a family life cycle. So the profile of the market keeps on changing.